Hey guys, new disclaimer. I am not sure what's true or false in this video. I take gossip and tea from online, from magazines, from books, from word of mouth, from all over, and I ball it up together and I tell you guys a story. Now, let's get to the video.
Listen, baby, I am a content creator, which means I work about 24 hours a day, especially when I am researching. So I am so grateful to have Trade Coffee in my life. Trade has let me discover new coffees from the nation's best local roasters. Before that, baby, I'm running over to the grocery stores trying to find some coffee. They ain't got nothing about 5, 10, 15 coffees. Who does that? Go and take your little tail over there to Trade Coffee's website. Take their little quiz so they can match you up with the right coffee. And then choose the frequency of how many times you want that coffee delivered to your door. Baby, do you want it once a month, twice a month? They roast the coffee when you order it. Not only do they roast it, they hurry up and ship it within 24 hours of you ordering the coffee. And they have a first match guarantee. If you don't love that first bag of coffee, they will send you another one for free. That is why my viewers get $15 off of their first 3 bags when they take the quiz by clicking the link in my description box. Oh, and don't let me forget, y'all got free shipping too. This is the best gift to give the coffee lover in your life. This little personalized coffee gift. Go ahead and do it while it's $15 because, baby, I got my 3 bags of coffee. All right, since y'all have gotten y'all's coffee hookup, this is Ashley with Ashley Says So, and I am back with another Old Hollywood Scandals video. And members, I have not forgotten about your shout outs. They will resume on the next video. This video today, I would like to say it's definitely more biography than scandal, but it still is a treat of a video. So go ahead and sit back and let's talk about the very, very lovely, soulful, spirited, and beautiful Miss Nina Simone. Let's get to it. Eunice Kathleen Wayman was born the 6th of 8 children on February the 21st, 1933. She was born in the city of Tryon, North Carolina, and her mother's name was Mary Kate Wayman, and Mary Kate was a minister and a housekeeper, and her father's name was Reverend John Devon or Devan Wayman, and he was a handyman who also owned a dry cleaning business. Now, almost all family agreed that little Eunice, who I am now about to start calling Nina so nobody would get confused, that little Nina was the apple of her father's eye. It is claimed that her father absolutely adored his child. And so he was really always on Nina's side. And this is going to be the cause of some heartbreak for Nina a little later on, but I'll tell you why when we get there. Now, gossip says that the family was very poor and they lived a very poor life, but Nina's father owned a dry cleaning business. So I don't really understand how they could be super poor, but I also heard that her father was also very sickly. So I'm guessing he possibly couldn't keep that dry cleaning business up, and maybe that's when the family fell into poverty. But whatever the case, it is said that they grew up poor. You know, Nina and her family didn't have much money. No matter what though, with that family, with all of those children, there was still a lot of good times to be had. And little Nina herself was a very, very intelligent child and was only probably about 8 to 10 months old when her mother found out that she had a particular ear for music. Now, when her mother noticed that Nina did have this affinity for music, she took total advantage of it, and she made sure to hurry up and put a piano in front of her daughter. And this meant that by the time Nina was around 3 years old, she was playing that piano like a professional. I mean, she was mastering songs that even grown people would have trouble playing. And baby, you know what happened next, honey. Yeah, child, the church, honey. The church heard about it, baby. And you know the church ain't finna let nobody talents go to waste. That just ain't finna happen. So, child, they took Nina little bitty tail, scooted her right on up to that church piano, and told her a little behind to play. And it said that when she did play, the music was so beautiful that people were moved to tears, or they were moved to very high spirit. Y'all know how it is when people get happy and that anointing rain down. The anointing not only rained down on the congregation, child, that anointing rained down on the whole city, honey. And before you knew it, the whole town would come to church just to hear Nina Simone play. Nina was really looked at like a golden child of sorts around this time, so much so that a woman by the name of Mrs. Masinovich came to the church to hear Nina play. And Mrs. Masinovich was a music teacher, a white music teacher. And you know there was all kind of segregation going on at this time, but baby, Mrs. Masinovich heard that little baby play. Mrs. Masinovich told the mama, hey, I'll go ahead and give her piano lessons. And I'm not sure if these piano lessons were free. I do believe there was another white lady in the audience that offered to pay for these piano lessons. But regardless, it's the fact that a white lady at this time period wanted to help out this little black girl so she could see her go further. Now, when Mrs. Novich did take Nina under her wing, she started teaching her to play the classical piano. She and Nina started to have dreams about Nina being the first African-American female who played the classical piano as a professional. And baby, let me tell you, it was no reason for them not to believe that Nina wouldn't reach this destination, because when she sat down at that piano, she learned how to play the classical piano with no problem. She did so well that by the time that she was only 12 years old, she was ready to give her first recital. And at the theater where she was supposed to perform, everybody and they mama showed up, honey. I mean, it definitely crossed the racial barrier. Everybody was there. And then when it was Nina's turn to play, they brought her out on the stage and scooted her up to the piano, and her mother and father were sitting in the front seats. You know what I'm saying? They had waited, and now they were ready to see their child play. So they're just sitting there, you know, smiling and happy. And then somebody walks up to her parents and tell them, hey, y'all need to get y'all little black selves up and get out the front row and go down to the back. And so Nina's parents, I'm pretty sure they were embarrassed and horrified, but of course they did not want to make a scene. This is their daughter's recital. So they got up and they went to the back of the theater. But let me tell you something, child, they ain't have to worry about acting no fool, because Nina looked out and saw that, and baby, she said just like this. And the folks was like, you know, Nina, go ahead and play, go ahead and play. And Nina was like, baby, I know you lying. You think I'm gonna play for y'all? Y'all done sat up there and move my parents to the back of the theater? Is y'all crazy? Then said some little woman, and probably was Miss Massinovich, gonna walk up on the stage talking about some, well, Nina, all these people have come to see you, so baby, you need to go ahead and play. Baby, Nina looked at that woman and said, I said I'm not playing a thing until my parents get moved back up at the front. And then here go Miss Novich, telling the parents to come on back up to the front so they can have a seat, just like they should have been able to do from the get-go. This day, child. Anyway, though, once her parents were seated back in front of the auditorium or the theater, Nina went on to play her music to perfection. Now, as time went on, Nina continued with her lessons, and she was getting just so good that people from all over the town wanted to see her succeed. You know what I'm saying? Her parents did not have the money to send her off to big classy schools and things like that. So the townspeople started a fund called the Eunice Wayman Fund. They would give all this money and donate, and they wanted to send this child off to the best schools, the best colleges, so she could really get the training that she needed, the training that she really deserved. And with this money, Nina is first sent to Allen High School for Girls. And of course, she glides through their program like it's not nothing. The next place she goes to is Juilliard and impresses everybody there and glides through once again. And after that, she is ready to go to the Curtis Institute of Music in Philadelphia. And honey, everybody knew she was going to kill it there too. So much so that her parents picked up and moved from Tryon to Philadelphia to be with their daughter while she attended this school. And so Nina comes to the audition, plays her piece, and is promptly told to get out of them folks' school, because baby, she did not make the cut, honey. And so everyone around Nina was completely shocked, but nobody more shocked than Nina herself. She absolutely expected to get into this school, and it's really truly because she had never been rejected before. You know what I'm saying? She had never been told no before. Everybody had kind of put her up on this pedestal. The teachers, her parents had her so much on a pedestal that they actually moved to Philadelphia because they fully expected their child to get into this school. So you know what I'm saying? She kind of did have kind of like an ego, a big head a little bit. So for her to be told no, this was a complete disaster for her. And Nina and her parents fully believed, and will believe for the rest of her life, that this was due to racism. They felt like she was definitely plenty good enough to get into that school, and she didn't get it because she was a female and she was black. And when they went to the Curtis Institute to voice their opinion on this, the school was like, no, ain't no racism involved. Do not try that. Nina, as well as 68 other students, did not make the cut. That's just what it is. 72 students tried out. We chose 3. The other 68 students were white. So how is that racist? But Nina and her family countered with, hey, well, guess what? Nina was better than the 3 that got in, so it's still racism, because guess what? Our baby should have been the first one through the door. So, you know, it was kind of just like, I don't know, but I sure enough would love to hear what those other 3 students sounded like, you know, just so I can form an opinion. Not getting into the Curtis Institute was a huge blow for Nina Simone, but baby, guess what though? Nina Simone had the Eunice Wayman Fund. So all she did is went ahead and hired one of the instructors from the Curtis Institute to give her private lessons. So, you know what I'm saying? Your girl is resourceful, honey. Y'all can't stop what's meant to be. And y'all need to remember that. Can't nobody stop what's meant to be. Period. So anyways, this was a win for Nina Simone in the end, but that teacher was ridiculously expensive. Y'all know it was. So baby, she blew through that fund like it was not nothing paying this instructor, and soon she had to find a way to continue to pay for her classes. So soon Nina went down to Atlantic City and started accepting small gigs at a club there. And there was this one bar that she played at that Nina played like 2 nights, you know what I'm saying? And she thought she was doing well, which I guess she was doing well. They had her come back, but child, the bar owner came up to her and was like, ma'am, do you expect to continue to play here? And Nina was like, yes, sir. And he was like, well, don't you think you need to start singing? And Nina was like, I didn't know, that you wanted me to sing. And he's like, yes, I don't want you to just sit up here and play the piano. We need like some real rockin' stuff. You need to learn how to sing. And so Nina was like, cool, I'll sing. And so that is when she started singing and playing the piano. Now, when Nina came back that next night, honey, she opened her mouth and the audience fell in love, honey. The bar owner was so pleased that he told her he would keep her on as long as she wanted, and he was paying her $90 a week. That was a lot of money for Nina Simone. She had never seen that amount of money, so she was very pleased with it. Now, while playing at this club, Nina's profile started to grow, and this was cool and all, but child, Nina was scared about her mama and daddy finding out, honey, because see, her parents started her playing for the church and for classical music. Them folks ain't said nothing about you sitting up there playing at a bar doing too much. Nina knew this, honey, so that is when she changed her name from Eunice Waitman to Nina Simone. For the next 4 years, Nina continued to play at this bar and other small venues, and her crowd or her audience started to grow more and more. Now, it didn't explode, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like a whole bunch of people, but she started to get a fan base that was very loyal to her, a fan base that would come back all the time just to see her, sometimes night after night. So, it's better to have loyal followers than a lot of followers. I mean, everybody want a lot of followers, you know what I'm saying? But that loyal fan base that will be with you through no matter what, that's a big deal for any entertainer and content creator. Now, in this crowd of loyal followers, the crowd that would come back constantly to see Nina Simone, there was this face. This face belonged to a young male, and every time Nina looked into the crowd, the eyes in this face would be staring back at her intently. I mean, the eyes would not miss a beat. And before long, those eyes started looking like they were undressing Nina while she was on the stage. And so one day, Nina spotted this face looking like it was undressing her. So she actually walked over and introduced herself to this fan. And this fan was a man named Don Ross. Now, rumor has it that Don Ross was the ultimate fanboy for Nina Simone. He absolutely adored her presence and her music, and he was just like fascinated with her in every way. Now, once Nina and Don Ross did start conversing, and he started telling her, I never miss a show, I'm the ultimate fanboy and all of this kind of stuff, that is like all she saw after that. She didn't see anything else. It didn't matter that he didn't have any money. It didn't matter that he worked as a carnival as a yeller, telling everybody, hear ye, come see the bearded woman. You know what I'm saying? None of that mattered. She fell in love with the way that he loved her. So they started dating, and then in 1958, they got married. And right after Nina married Don Ross, more great things started to happen for her. She recorded her very first song, and this song was called I Loves You Porgy. And this song did better than Nina or anybody else could ever expect for it to do. Oh, I Loves You Porgy went everywhere, honey. It was played on the radio 24/7. You know what I'm saying? People were singing it all over the place. And Nina was surprised by this because this was like not her song. You know what I'm saying? This was actually a Billie Holiday song. So Nina never expected for her version to do better than Billie Holiday's version. But child, it did way better than Billie Holiday's version. People really feel like Nina Simone blew Billie Holiday out of the water. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I do like Nina Simone's version better. But I'm not gonna sit up here and say, it blew Billie Holiday's version out of the water. But like I said, almost everybody at that time agreed with me, and the song made it on the Billboard Hot 20, and all of this made Nina Simone an instant celebrity. And because of this, as soon as she became a celebrity and the song took off like this, the people who had recorded her wanted her right back into the studio so they could record a full album. And this is what they did. The album was called Little Girl Blue, and the album did very, very well due to I Loves You Porgy as well as some other songs. And since the album had done so well, soon Nina Simone was offered a recording contract with Colpix Records. And honey, Colpix, I'm walking through there, you know what I'm saying? This is what we want from you. This is what we need. If you do this, this, we're willing to give you this. But see, what they didn't understand is that Miss Nina Simone was a different type of animal, honey. Baby, Nina ain't come here begging and starving like everybody else. As a matter of fact, Nina didn't care nothing about a recording contract. Remember, she really wanted to do classical music, so this was not even something that she was really interested in like that. And because Nina had this take it or leave it attitude and mentality, this made her very like, y'all must be out of y'all rabbit tails mind. Listen, it don't work that way. The way it works is, if you want me to sign with you, you need to give me all creative rights. You cannot tell me what song I'm supposed to sing or anything like that. Let me just sign the paper and step on out of my life. And baby, when Nina came with an attitude like this, them folks was sitting up there looking stupid with their hair blew back, honey, because they ain't never had nobody talk to them like this. And so at the end of it, they sitting up there like, yes ma'am, Miss Simone, can you sign right here? And that's when she signed with Cold Picture Records. From here, Nina dived head first into her work, and the demand for her grew so much so that Playboy's Hugh Hefner had her to come on his TV show, The Playboy's Penthouse. And Nina Simone at this point is just glowing. You know what I'm saying? She is loving that her work is paying off. She is loving all this fandom, all this adoration, but something was wrong. There was one fan that was missing. Nina started to notice that those eyes that sat in the audience undressing her just about a year ago were now nowhere to be found. Not only were those dreamy eyes not in her audience anymore, when she would return home, those eyes wouldn't be there either. As a matter of fact, that man who was hanging on to her every word, her every performance, the one who couldn't wait to see her, was now treating her like she was the last person on earth that he wanted to see. In fact, rumor has it that Dunn Ross had been acting this way since they first got married. The folks is out here saying that as soon as they said I do, Dunn Ross's attention and affection for Nina Simone went non-existent, honey. Baby, they say the only time that man made an effort to be around her is when the cameras was flashing child and on payday, honey. And it wasn't long before Nina realized that she had been had. And this was a pretty painful revelation for her because, see, rumor has it her family had been telling her the whole time that, hey, we don't think this is the guy for you. Hey, Nina, it seems like he has some other motive for marrying you. She kind of put them off as like, oh no, you guys don't know him. He loves me and all of this kind of stuff. Well, come to find out, her family was right. Dunn Ross was nothing but a leech, and he had played his gold digger game well, honey. I mean, he had dragged Nina in hook, line, and sinker, baby. Had he continued playing his game, oh child, he could have been set for life. But see, he had done too much too quickly, and Nina divorced his trifling tail in the year of 1960. Now, after washing her hands of that leech of a husband, honey, Nina Simone continued to record and she continued to tour. But what many people don't know is that it said around this time, Nina was thinking every performance that she did could be her last. You know what I'm saying? She always felt like this might be her last time doing this, and it wasn't because somebody was gonna like kill her or she was gonna die or nothing like that. She just always really wanted to do classical music. So even though she did take her career seriously and she was putting in the work for it, basically she would have dropped it in a hot second if she felt like her classical pianist career was gonna take off. But anyways, to get on with the story, Nina is killing it everywhere she goes. And one night she takes the stage looking beautiful as ever, and instantly her eyes fall on a man that is in the audience munching down, honey, on some fries and a burger. And he is kind of like a bigger, like sturdier type guy. He has this brown skin complexion and his hair is black and wavy. And these features, or better yet, this guy himself is very much striking to Nina Simone. And so Nina steps off the stage and tippy-toe walks her little tail over to him. And when she gets over to his table, the guy looks up at her and Nina kind of like looks down at him, and then she promptly takes a fry off of his plate. I think she might even dipped it in his ketchup, honey. Pops it in her mouth and just starts chewing on the fry all cutesy, like, you know. And then she gonna stop and say, oh, I'm sorry, can I please have one of your fries? And then this guy, who is just as flirtatious as she is, and I'm pretty sure very turned on, because this is Nina Simone, the woman he has paid to see, he replies with something like, well, sure, doll, you can have one of my fries. And then Nina takes a seat beside him, and then, honey, they talk all night long. When it's time for the club to close, Nina, still in her flirty way, kind of slips the guy a card and tells him, come up and see me sometime. And this guy's name was Andrew Stroud. And child, he definitely went up and seen her tail. Some folks say he came the next day, and then some folks say he came up there 2 days later. Whatever the case, when he came up there, he and Nina hit it off. And then they ended up getting married in the year of 1961. And then that next year, they had their daughter, Lisa. And speaking on Andrew Stroud, just to tell you a little bit about him, he was a police sergeant when he met Nina. But when he got with Nina, the police and the sergeant got thrown out the window, honey, because he promptly took right over Nina's career. I mean, basically grabbed it out of her hand. And this was both good and bad. It was good because Andrew knew a lot more about the business side of things, and Nina didn't really know anything about that. You know what I'm saying? She didn't really know about contracts and things like that, so it was good because Andrew knew about that, and also he was very, very serious about making his wife a superstar. So he immediately hired a team of photographers, you know what I'm saying? He hired a publicist. It's possible that he even hired a designer to keep her dressed in the top fashion. And so Nina really went from not being seen much, except when she had a show or something, to being seen all the time. She was always photographed going somewhere. She always looked very nice, you know what I'm saying? Very put together. Like, he really knew how to throw his woman out to the public, how to keep her looking good, her image well. So he knew what he was doing because it paid off tremendously. It paid off. Nina was getting booked like, I mean, it paid off so well that he got her booked at Carnegie Hall. Carnegie Hall, you guys. This is the big time. In fact, it was a dream true for Nina. She had said plenty of times when she was a little girl, she had told her mama, I'm gonna get to Carnegie Hall. Mama, we gonna get to Carnegie Hall. And so now she could call her mama and be like, Mama, we made it. You know what I'm saying? Your baby girl got you to Carnegie Hall. So, you know, it was a huge deal for Nina Simone. She was so happy. Probably one of the happiest times in her life. And speaking of Said So Squad Scandalized, when is y'all gonna get me to Carnegie Hall? Baby, I've been sitting up here waiting. They ain't booked me yet. But moving on. So anyways, the calls were coming in constantly and Nina was booked and busy, busy. And this starts to show the bad or the negative side of Andrew Stroud being her manager. You see, although he was good at the business side of things and getting Nina jobs, he was very, very bad at understanding that Nina Simone was a creative talent. And to add on to that, she was a Pisces creative talent. And this made it worse. Trust me, baby. I know what it feels like to be a Pisces creative talent. People like us or creative talents, yes, we are creative. You know what I'm saying? The most creative people in the world. And yes, we love what we do with all of our heart. But we get so emotionally involved in the stuff that we do that we have to take breaks. I mean, we have to, man. If we are not allowed to take these breaks, we shut down completely. And that's just it. And we don't try. Like, there's not something that we're saying like, oh, we finna shut down. You know what I'm saying? We finna just stop doing everything. We don't try. It's like we have to. Our mental will just shut down. Absolutely just turn off. And most of the time, if we let it run to that point where our bodies or our minds automatically shut off for us, if we let it get to that point, then what follows is a period of depression. And this is either exactly what Nina Simone went through or very similar to what she went through. She was tired. She needed a break. And she started to tell Andrew, hey, I need a break. I need a break. Like, I'm doing too much. I need a break. But like I said, he didn't understand the creative talent. So he felt like, a break? What are you talking about? No, you're booked. You cannot take a break. And then he would throw it up in her face. You know, I thought you loved this. You said this was something you love. What you mean you want to take a break? And Nina would just kind of sit there through this hurl of insults and she'd be like, you know, I understand, but I need to take a break, Andrew. And basically, in the end, he told her, no, you are not taking a break. Why would you even want to take a break from something that is bringing us money? And so he wouldn't let her take a break, and he would actually shove her out on the stage to perform. And listen closely to me now. Because of this, right here, what I just described, also because Nina had always wanted to play classical music anyway, and because of other factors, her feeling like she never really had a happy childhood because she couldn't play with other kids and things like that because she was always expected to perform. So because of all of this, and the top one being because she never was able to take a break, Nina's attitude started to change tremendously. She no longer walked onto the stage with a smile. Sometimes she would get on the stage and deviate from what she would normally sing like or act like. She even started to resent her fans a little bit. So this change that had come about for her was a very negative change. There was a very negative energy, a very negative spirit that was trying to take over her. And Nina felt this stuff coming on. Gossip says she actually felt all of this negativity coming on, and she asked her husband again, Please, Andrew, I need to take a break. I have to take a break. And he responded by beating her behind black and blue and forcing her to go on the stage to perform once again. She was not about to mess up their money. And after this, honey, there was no stopping that negative energy. I mean, it was all over Nina Simone. It absolutely enveloped her whole being, and it would present itself in physical ways at the most inopportune time. There was one rumor about how after she performed in this show, a fan came up to her and asked her for an autograph. Nina, with a frown on her face, signed the autograph and handed it back to the fan. The fan takes the autograph and she's like, "Oh, thank you so much, Miss Simone, thank you." And Nina is like, wait, hold on. That's all you got to say to me after I done signed you an autograph? All you got to say is thank you, Miss Simone? And so the fan by this time has copped her own attitude. You know what I'm saying? Because she's like, really? I can't believe this B. So the fan turns around and says, well, hey, guess what? I thought that was good enough. But obviously, since it's not, you can have your autograph back. And child, listen, this was the worst thing she could have done to egotistical as well as very negative at this moment, Nina Simone. Baby, Nina Simone grabbed a bottle off that table so quick and started chasing that woman. Child, she tried to knock that woman out. And so immediately the woman is like, you know, she running away, baby, flinging folks out of the way, trying to get up out of that child. Nina was finna get her tail. Thankfully, bodyguards came and grabbed Nina before she could bust the woman upside her head, but Nina was still like very belligerent. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, don't you ever give my autograph back. You know who I am? Then you have the rumors of her being violent with her musicians. She always would kind of like snap and fuss at them, but they really had a close like brother-sister type of relationship. But her fussing had started to get worse and worse. You know what I mean? Now she was really just cursing at them, telling them off, and then they said that she started to actually like hit on them. And I say that, but I want to make that clear. The rumor actually said she got violent with them. But when I hear violent, I feel like, you know, she's being physical. Either way it goes, I do know that the musicians said that once she became violent, it became to be a little bit too much for them. So Nina is lashing out in horrible, horrible ways. And not only is she lashing out at her fans, you know what I mean, musicians and other people, she also starts lashing out at the person who pretty much pushed her to this point, Andrew Stroud. And of course, when she lashes out to him, he beats her for it. And it is claimed that Nina did become violent towards him. You know what I'm saying? She would also hit him. So in the end, Nina has found herself stuck in an abusive marriage with a man who works her like she is a horse. And her attitude and her lashing out and her fighting Andrew was becoming more and more severe from her end. And this meant that his stuff was becoming more and more severe to the point of ridiculousness. Listen to this. Baby, they said there was this one day where they got into it and she said something to Andrew and he was like really upset about it, but apparently he didn't do anything about it right at that time. He was waiting on something. Well, child, don't you know they say he was waiting to get next to a concrete wall, and as soon as he got by it, he took Nina's head under his arm and rammed her head into a concrete wall. Rumor has it that he even put hands on her while she was pregnant. And then there's this horrible, horrible tale that actually started off with Nina and Andrew having a good night. They were kissing, they were lovey-dovey, they even went out to a club together. Well, Nina is out on the floor dancing, you know what I'm saying, and a male fan supposedly grabs her and hugs her just like this, and then he slips her a note. And Nina just absentmindedly just kind of puts the note in her pocket. Well, what Nina didn't know is that Andrew is watching this intently from the side. And baby, when he saw that note hit her pocket, he got all kind of thoughts in his head, honey. He had thoughts of Nina sleeping with that man. He had thoughts of Nina leaving him for that man. And before you know it, Nina feels a hard yank on her arm. And so she kind of looks up, you know what I'm saying, looks to the side, and she sees that it's Andrew. And before she can even say anything, this time he jerks her arm and drags her out of the club. And so when they finally get outside, Nina can finally open her mouth and she's like, Andrew, what is all of this about? Child, Andrew went to work on her head, baby. Child, they said he beat her outside of the club, dragged her in the car, stuck her in the car, beat her on top of her head while she was sitting in the car, drove the car home and was beating her on the way home, parked at their residence, beat her after he parked. He even said he beat her up the stairs after she is beaten like purple. You know what I'm saying? He throws her on the bed, yanks off her clothes, ties her up, and he rapes her. And Nina is horrified. She is mortified. In fact, I think like once he went to sleep or something like that, she ran away from the house and she went to a friend's house, one of the musicians, and she hid out at his house. And it's claimed that the musician said that Nina looked really bad. And Nina told him the circumstances. She told him, God, I just put the note in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even realize it. I don't even know what the note even freaking said. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's just kind of going over things. And so in the end, Nina does not go back to the house. She actually stays away for 2 weeks. She does not contact Andrew. You know what I'm saying? She's kind of just trying to stay away because she is scared. And then she said after 2 weeks, she goes home. And listen to what happened when she get there, child. She walked through the door. Here go Andrew. Nina, oh my God, Nina, what happened to you? What happened to your face? And Nina's like, Andrew, what are you talking about? You did this to me. And he's like, no, you've been gone for 2 weeks. I did not do that to you. Why is your face like this? And Nina was like, but you beat on me, and this is how bad you beat me. Yes, my face still looks like this. And so apparently when she said this, I guess Andrew had apologized, because she did say that he apologized and said he wouldn't do it anymore. But she said she was kind of looking at him like, God, this man is crazy. But like I said, he apologized. They got back together because Nina said she believed him when he said he would not do it again. So at this current point, Nina is already going through like negative emotions and just like a negative energy anyway. And then something happens that brings out the best in Nina as well as the worst in Nina. And this is the civil rights movement. And here's the thing, even though today Nina Simone is known as kind of like pioneering the civil rights movement along with others, and she's very closely associated with the civil rights movement, baby, it did not start off that way. Child, rumor says that Nina Simone didn't get involved with the civil rights movement until somebody called her and got in her tail. And that was an old friend of hers, Lorraine Hansberry. So baby, I'm guessing Lorraine kind of like picked up the phone and called Nina and was like, Nina, so you sitting up there going off on folks in the audience, you know what I'm saying, got so much to say to these folks, but you ain't said a mumbling word when it come down to the civil rights movement and just fighting for black people as a whole. And it's claimed that whatever she said, and she probably didn't say that, y'all know what it is, but whatever she said to Nina Simone, this lit a fire in Nina Simone, and she very quickly picked up the mantle for civil rights. But this was just Nina's start getting into the civil rights movement. It was not until Medgar Evers was assassinated and those 4 little girls in Birmingham, Alabama were blown up in that church that Nina Simone like geared up. You know what I'm saying, baby? She zipped up in all her black and became full on like kind of like a militant Black Power, Black Panther type of civil rights supporter. In fact, she was so angry and so moved by these events happening, it's claimed that Nina went and got a gun, baby. Nina went down to her drawer and pulled out a gun, cocked it back, and was basically like, hey, it's time to kill all of them. Baby, she is walking out of the door when Andrew grabs her by the arm and tells her, like, Nina, you're not gonna go and kill anybody. And don't you know that you're a singer? That is the best way to get your message out there, and it's money for us. And so Nina is like, oh man, you mean I can't just go out there and shoot the bad guys? And Andrew is like, no. And so Nina puts down the gun and she picks up her pen and paper and she starts writing furiously. I mean, she's just going at it. And when she is finished, she comes out with a masterpiece called Mississippi Goddamn. And this song was very, very powerful because it expressed her emotions. It expressed how she felt and how she saw Mississippi and Alabama and some other places and the mess that was going on and how angry it was making her. And she went all over performing this song anywhere that she could. You know, every show she had to perform Mississippi Goddamn. And it was the exact same way how Billie Holiday did with Strange Fruit, except the audience reacted way better to Nina Simone than they did with Billie Holiday and Strange Fruit. And even though this song went well over live audiences, when it comes to record sales, the same cannot be said. And that is because radio stations and distributors would not play this song. In fact, when Nina Simone's company shipped the records out to be played, the radio stations and the distributors broke the records in half and sent them right back to her door, basically letting her know, listen, we ain't finna play this mess. We're not playing this. But this did not stop Nina. Oh baby, she was in the soup now, child. She was angry and she was gonna perform her song no matter what. And of course her song went over well with black people, and it went over so well that she was invited to Selma along with other big time black celebrities. And when she did get to Selma, she performed Mississippi Goddamn while she was standing on a stage made of coffins. And this performance and her message was so strong and so powerful. Dick Gregory even basically said, like, you know, this was a woman saying what black grown men were afraid to say. He said a lot of people wanted to say, you know, Mississippi, God dang it, get yourself that people were not brave enough to do that. And then here comes this woman who's like, baby, I don't care what nobody say. I'm gonna say what I got to say. And she said it. So Nina was very much looked at like a fearless warrior. And Andrew Stroud, he thought this was also great and good, and it was not because of the civil rights movement. I mean, he probably, sympathized with the black plight, you know what I'm saying? But that wasn't really his focal point. His focal point was to make Nina a superstar and keep the money coming in. So he was happy with the song, but the only reason he was happy with it is because the song had created so much buzz that people would actually pay to see Nina performing, because radio stations wouldn't play it. So, when something is forbidden, you know what I'm saying, radio stations won't play it. Of course, that piques people's curiosity. So they're gonna make their way to the live show and pay money to hear what all of this fuss is about. And then after Mississippi got down, Nina wrote another song dealing with black issues, and then another song dealing with black issues, and possibly even another song dealing with black issues. And this was a double-edged sword for her, because with every song, it almost seemed like her song lyrics were becoming blacker and blacker, and that wasn't necessarily a problem, but they were becoming a little bit more militant every time she wrote a song as well. The majority of Nina's audiences were white. They had always been white. Yes, she did have black fans, but the ones who were actually laying down the money to come and see her were white people. And so now a lot of these white people have become afraid to come and see her. Oh, baby, yes, there were plenty of stories going around at that time about how white people were scared to go see Nina Simone. They thought they were going to get beat up. They actually had stories going around that time where people went to her show, black folks would jump on you and all this kind of stuff. So, this scared her white audience. And then the audience were also scared of Nina herself, because remember, she had already dealt with this negativity. She was already dealing with that, where she was kind of lashing out at her fans. So now you have that compiled with the whole civil rights movement, where now she's angry with the whole black oppression thing. So, they're scared that she might jump on the stage and slap them own doggone self. And at this time, Nina would indeed get very, very agitated with her audience very, very quickly. It is said a lot of times she went and stood on the stage, and then she'd start playing, and if somebody talked in the audience, Nina would get up and just walk off stage, and the whole gig would be over. Only playing about 15 minutes, and people have paid to see her. And she would walk backstage and be like, well, they wouldn't sit up there and talk when a classical pianist is playing. I don't want them talking when I'm playing. This is very rude. And listen, sister girl, I understand, honey child. I understand that that's kind of rude. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But baby, let me tell you something. If Beyonce walked off stage every time somebody in her audience talked, no ma'am. I mean, I get what you're saying, that, they wouldn't do that to a classical pianist, but you're not a classical pianist. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? People have paid their money. It's already all this mess going on around, so the people that's still paying you, obviously they love you. And for you to get up because they're not hushing when you want them to, it was just, really, I honestly believe that she just had that anger inside of her, because she always kept that oppression in her mind, so she was angry. You know what I mean? So any little thing would make her angry, and her fans had to pay for it. And then you had those audience members that were not scared of being jumped on by black people. They were not scared of being jumped on by Nina Simone. They were not scared that Nina would cut her show short because they were talking. They were not scared of any of that. They were just plain not wanting to be preached at. They wanted to take their wives or their girlfriends or husbands or whatever on nice dates. And when they get there, you're fussing at them. Now, this may have been fine for 1 or 2 songs, but I didn't pay to see a whole show where you sitting up there, white devil, you are a white devil. Guess what? You are white devil. Folks, they ain't paid for that. So, whatever you feel about it or whatever you think about it, this is what it said that the audience felt like. But here's the thing, no matter that her fans or audience felt this way, Nina did not care. She was gonna get her message across either way it went. So if you didn't go to her shows, she felt like to hell with you. You know what I'm saying? She felt like you didn't believe in her plight, probably didn't like black folks any doggone way. So you don't need to be here. But Andrew Stroud did care. He cared a lot. So he's sitting up there looking at Nina like, don't you understand we got bills to pay? Is you crazy? What are you doing? So it became even more bad between them. He was just basically jumping on her constantly at this time. And there's a rumor that one time they were sitting in the car and he kind of reached over his daughter's head and backhanded her, and blood supposedly squirted from Nina's face and maybe even got on her daughter. Blood went everywhere. He smacked her so hard like he cut her face open. But then, child, let me add this weird, juicy, and salacious tea, honey. Baby, I guess all this passion and angriness and stuff would get Nina loosened up in the tail, honey. Booty just loose, baby. Child, the folks say that some weeks, every night of the week, she would come home and jump Andrew's bones like you wouldn't believe, honey. I mean, just like an animal. She just, and Andrew got to give it up, baby. Baby, they say Andrew himself called these times sex attacks, honey. It is claimed that he talked about them. And baby, they say that Nina be riding that doggone man so good that baby, he really couldn't take it, honey, because she would constantly want it. And so Andrew would be like, no, Nina, yeah. And then finally, one day he really was like, no, golly, you want it too much. But child, the fire and the passion was just still burning in her, honey. So much so that it's claimed that she started to cheat on Andrew. Now, you know that energy has to be a lot to make her cheat on a man that's been beating the mess out of her. Like, she had to get that stuff calmed down. She really had to get somebody to put that fire out. But then, get this, it's claimed that Andrew knew she was stepping out with other men. He supposedly accepted it. You know, basically he had the attitude of, you know, she's stepping out with other men, I'm stepping out with other women, and everything is cool. We're basically just together for the child, for business, and stuff like that. So, I don't know, that's kind of weird to me after he was just beating her for putting a note in her pocket, but supposedly they accepted this now? I don't know. But to get back to the main story, Nina Simone was in her element when she was performing about black issues. But it was like she had to sacrifice her way of life. You know what I'm saying? Sacrifice her money to do what she believed in. And Nina sacrificed it without a second thought. Even though her audience was getting smaller and smaller and she was losing money, she still continued to perform these songs. And as the civil rights movement was drawing to a close and it was getting quieter and quieter, Nina was so still full of passion and so still like boiling, upset and mad that she jumped on the Vietnam issue. But when she wrote this record called Backlash, the meat of it was Vietnam, but she was kind of like sprinkling black issues on there too. And not only did Nina write this song in protest of Vietnam, she also stopped paying her taxes. She said that it was foolish for people to pay taxes, you know, just for them to yank your son up and send your son to Vietnam. So Nina Simone is already struggling to keep her core audience. And then Martin Luther King is assassinated. Ooh, child, Nina became bloodthirsty, honey. She became filled with a blind rage, honey. You know, she ran and got her gun, and this time, nobody was going to stop her. She was going to plant bombs. She wanted to poison the reservoirs. She wanted to, like, just kill everybody, you know. And again, Andre grabbed her by the arm and stopped her behind. And again, she picked up a pen instead, and she wrote a song about Martin Luther King called Why, aka The King of Love is Dead. Again, she did get rave reviews from performing this song in front of live audiences, but that was like the audience that was left. You know what I'm saying? Like, it had really dwindled down. And of course it had dwindled down. You know, people had already seen how she acted over Medgar Evers and those 4 little girls, and now Martin Luther King, child, them folks wasn't finna be caught dead in that doggone audience because they knew what was waiting for them, and they were right. Nina really started to go there. She was singing songs that were calling for buildings to be burned. You know what I'm saying? Calling for a revolution. She's calling for violence because she's saying, you know, that's what has to be done for the black people to be free. And at this point, her audience is picking back up and she is performing in front of a full house again, but the full house now is all black pretty much. And Nina is fine. She loves this. You know, she is right in her element, but the problem was them black folks ain't had no money. The promoters and the event holders could not pay her like those white promoters and club owners and stuff could pay her. You know, they just didn't have the funds like that. And as far as Andrew Stroud, oh baby, he pretty much had given up. He figured that when Martin Luther King passed away, like, that's it. Her career is over with. You know, she's going to ruin herself. And he also resented the fact that he had put in so much work to try to make her become a superstar for her just to ruin it like this. And he had tried to, of course, pull her away from there, you know, tell her, Nina, you need to focus on more pop songs, you know, stop dealing with the black issues. You've done what you needed to do with that. You know, you need to save your career. You need to put out pop songs, songs that everybody can enjoy, happy songs, positive songs. But of course, Nina did not do this. You know, she was on a mission with black issues and she wanted to help people out. But it did mess up her career. You know, and Nina actually admitted this later on in life that it did mess up her career. So Andrew Stroud, like I said, after Martin Luther King died, he kind of knew that he could not save his wife from the brink. She was about to jump over and her career would be dead. And now we get back to Nina, who again has been suffering from depression, who again has been suffering from all this negativity, who again have compounded the civil rights on there, now sees this behavior from her husband. She sees her husband stepping back from her. She sees her husband not be whatever with her. She also sees the change in her audience. She also sees the change in her finances. And one of the worst things of all that she could have seen were the things that were happening with the civil rights leadership. She had seen Martin Luther King be assassinated, the assassination of Fred Hampton. She saw the assassination of Malcolm X. And then to make it even worse and put the icing on the cake, she saw what happened to the rest of the leaders who were still around after these people were assassinated. You know, they did not match Nina Simone's fury. They did not match her want to get back and all this kind of stuff. They didn't match that. A lot of them now were speaking a different tune. Some of them had jumped ship. Some of them had earned a lot of money in what they were doing, and now they were content. Some of them were just point blank out of fuel. You know what I'm saying? They were tired and they had become very disheartened at seeing what happened to Martin Luther King. So they were just very disheartened. They were out of gas. And so all of this started to play on Nina's mental health, the money, the audience, her husband acting different, the civil rights leaders changing up and being different. You know, that all started to play on her head, especially when she reached out to the civil rights leaders. And it was a lot of them that kind of like turned the cheek on her. You know what I'm saying? They kind of like was like, you know, well, Vietnam is the new focus. You know what I'm saying? Like, Martin Luther King's been shot. You know, I'm just tired. You know, it's just over with. It's over with, you know. And this made Nina furious, and it played on her mental because she felt like, I have sacrificed everything. I have ruined my career to stand up for the civil rights, you know, and black people and all of that stuff. And now y'all just leave me out here. Now y'all don't have the fight no more. Got me out here drowning, and you guys have just gone back to your life, you know. And then you got Andrew Stroud, her husband, being like, you know, I told you, Nina. I told you, you should have saved yourself. And then even worse, all of the songs that she had just written in the last few years, they dealt with black issues. These were songs that were not selling records. So it's like she just kind of drowned herself dealing with the black issues, and it's sad because she definitely had the right heart, and she done right. You know what I'm saying? She done right, but it's just kind of like I said, she sacrificed everything. And in the end, when you take every single thing away, there was nobody left to blame but herself. She made the choice to do what she had to do, so there was nobody left in the end to blame but herself. And this made her mental health break. I mean, it had completely shattered. She was going overboard fussing and fighting with people. She also was now hallucinating. She started seeing a light beam coming from the sky down the street. You know what I'm saying? She felt like her and her husband should go get on that light beam. As a matter of fact, her husband wasn't even her husband anymore. He was her nephew. You know, this is the way she was thinking. All of her thoughts were jumbled up in her head. She had gone off, you know what I'm saying? Gone off the deep end. But here's the thing though, baby, don't you know, if any little gig, which she wasn't getting many, but any little gig that was going through, Andrew was still pushing her behind off on that stage. There's one rumor out here that says that Nina Simone was actually backstage, and as she was sitting there, she took some shoe polish, brown shoe polish, and put it in her hair, trying to make her hair and her skin the same color. Child, don't you know that when it was time for her to go on stage, Andrew lifted her up by her waist, walked her to the stage, walked her on the stage, sat her down in front of the piano, and then like just kind of left her out there. And it's claimed that Nina just kind of looked at him off the side like this, you know, and then she starts playing, but she played her show to perfection. And after this performance, of course, Nina had a few more, but like I said, they were nothing like her old performances. You know, she wasn't really bringing the money in, and Andrew Stroud was kind of out doing his own thing. And at this point, gossip says it really was where they were like just kind of together for the child as well as business. So suddenly, Nina Simone, for all of her hard work, had lost herself in the fight for justice, and now she ended up lonely and very, very bitter. And rumor has it that there were plenty of times where she kind of just cried to herself and repeatedly said, I didn't want this. I didn't want any of this. All I wanted to do was play classical music. But then in that same breath, she would say, you know what? But Nina, you had to fight for your race. If you didn't, you weren't going to be able to live with yourself. She was in such a bad state that she drank constantly due to her depression, had no money. She ended up losing her house. After a while, it said that Nina Simone could not take life like this anymore. So one day she took off her wedding ring. She put it on the counter, on a pillow or something like that, left a note to Andrew and told him, you know, you do you, I'm going to do me. And she took off for Barbados. And this would have been all well and good, but she left behind her 8-year-old daughter, Lisa. And per gossip, didn't even say goodbye to her daughter, Lisa. And so Nina is in Barbados. She had gotten her rest. She had gotten over a majority of that depression. She also had gotten out of her panties, child. Because yes, honey, the gossip said Nina Simone got over there and had an affair with the Prime Minister of Barbados, Errol Barrow. That the affair was short-lived, but Nina still very much enjoyed her time in the sun. She became very, very close with Miriam Makeba, and Miriam Makeba told her to move to Liberia. And so Nina Simone did move to Liberia, and she absolutely loved it there. And so she settled there and she lived there for a while, and then she sent for her daughter Lisa to come live with her. So I believe around this time she probably was about 10, 11, possibly even 12. She was excited to get back to her mother, but the dream very quickly turns into a nightmare for Lisa. Child, Lisa said her mama slap hand was strong as ever, honey. And if it wasn't the slap hand, baby, a belt would be ready to go to work, child. Said that Nina Simone was beating on her all the time. Also very verbally abusive, you know what I'm saying? Just like taking everything out on Lisa. And she said a lot of times her mother would like hit her and be like, you know, you better cry. You better cry. And Lisa said that she would not cry. She would hold it in as much as she wanted because she could not give her mother this satisfaction. And she just said that her mother abused her terribly. As a matter of fact, it is said that Nina Simone abused Lisa so bad that very quickly Lisa said she wanted to go back home to her dad. And so that is what Lisa did. And at one point it is claimed that Nina herself tried to return to the US. But baby, as soon as she stepped off the plane and put her feet on the asphalt, honey, all she heard was, what you gonna do when chum come for you, bad boys, what you gonna. Turns out that protest statement that she just had to make regarding Vietnam and not paying her taxes had the U.S. seeking to lock her behind up. Baby, them folks say Nina didn't stay in the U.S. for long at all, child. I'm not even sure if her little behind stayed a week before she turned around, jumped back on that plane, and flew her little tail out of here, baby. Now that Nina could not return to the U.S. without fear of being locked up, she was fully on her own over in Africa and the UK. She was living everywhere and nowhere at the same time, you know what I mean? She was in Liberia, she was in Switzerland, and then I think she had went to Paris, France. As a matter of fact, that is where she actually settled at the end. But she had kind of went around just kind of drifting to different places. She did make a record in 1974 and another in 1978, but they really did not make a splash. As a matter of fact, the record from 1974 was called It Is Finished, and a lot of people thought She Is Finished. Because even though she had got over a lot of that depression, she still never really got the mental help that she needed, because it was later found out that she actually was suffering from bipolar disorder. It is also around this time, and I actually believe it was when she came back into the US and they told her she owed taxes and all of that good stuff, but I believe it was around that time that the issue with Nina and her father comes back up. Well, it is said that she, I guess, had visited her parents, and her father was on the phone with a brother of hers, and the father was just telling his son, I'm the provider of the household. It's hard work being the man of the house. I pay all the bills and all of this good stuff. And Nina says that in her mind, she was looking at her daddy like, you know, you're a liar. You don't pay the bills. You are not the one head of the house that takes care of the family. You are a liar. And I don't know if she was saying that because she paid her family's bills or her mama or what. I don't know why she was thinking that. So instead of just letting her father have it, you know what I'm saying? Okay, you lying. You got it though. Nina, for some reason, says, Daddy, no, you're a liar. And because you are a liar, you are no longer my father. It completely breaks her father's heart. Soon after that episode, her father passed away. That is the last episode that he had with this daughter that he loved so much. So it seems like Nina, you know what I'm saying? She just felt like, it just seems like she had to voice her opinion, or she had to voice her thoughts, you know, but she was going through these mental problems. She does not have any help with that, you know what I mean? And so Nina Simone had gotten to where she was kind of almost a drifter, you know. It was people that said they saw her in the streets and she looked homeless. She had to do something for money, and so she started performing in this little tiny club in France. And this club only offered to pay her about $300 a night. This is chump change, I mean pizzy change. It was absolutely sad to see. And then her performing in this little club, it was almost like a mock setup. You know what I'm saying? It really was not good at all. Like Nina, because she had not gotten the medical help that she needed, like she would lash out at people a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? She was not over that. Some of the people came just to antagonize her. You know what I'm saying? They would pay their money, they would sit in the audience and they would start talking very loud, or, you know, say something she didn't like, and Nina would go chasing them off the stage, you know, and they're running away from her. Everybody's laughing. It was really a sad, almost pathetic sight to see. If I'm not mistaken, I believe some of her old band members came over from the US over to where Nina was, and they saw her performing, and they saw this mess of a setup. And so they took it up on themselves and were like, no, this is not happening. This is ridiculous. And they took Nina to the side and they were like, Nina, this is not happening anymore. And gossip claims that Nina kind of started to fuss, you can't talk to me that way, you don't do this, and all this kind of stuff. And they were stern with her, and they were like, hey, listen here, Nina. You're gonna hush your mouth. This is not happening anymore. And they told her, basically you could stay in this little ratty behind setup with no money, no nothing, or Nina, we can get you back to where you were supposed to be. We can get you back performing in front of audiences who truly deserve you. But you have to listen to us. There is no more going off on us. There's no more being violent. There's no more doing what you want to do and nobody can talk to you. You have to listen to us. They told her, you have to go to the doctor. You have to get on your medication. You have to take your medication and stay on it. And you have to work. You have to bring your tail to work and do what you have to do. And Nina Simone, we can put you back on top. And it is claimed that Nina kind of stopped all that fussing, and she kind of looked up at them and she had tears in her eyes. She was crying and she was like, yes, that's what I want. So now that Nina has agreed to get help, her bandmates gather her up, you know what I'm saying? They take her to the doctor. They get her on medication to control her bipolar episodes, and they start to give her shows that are more befitting of her stature. And then in 1988, a record that she put out in the 50s just basically goes, and I shouldn't say viral, but the equivalent of viral. It gets back on the charts. It is a #1 hit because it is used in a Chanel #5 commercial. And that song is called My Baby Just Cares For Me. When this song gets huge again, the demand for Nina Simone really blows up, and so now she's actually touring, similar to what she was back then. Of course, not that much, but Nina Simone is making her money again. Now, she did buy an apartment next to the Belvoir Hotel, and then she had a friend, and he and his family kind of kept an eye on her, kind of made sure she stayed on track, but they couldn't watch every move she made. And this was unfortunate because on the times that they couldn't watch her, it's claimed that Nina would lash out at people. As a matter of fact, I forgot to bring this up. It is said that in 1985 that she had worked with some record producer and had recorded for this person. Well, she felt like this person did not pay her the money that was owed. So Nina Simone pulled a gun and shot at this man, and she tried to kill him. And it's claimed that she admitted in several interviews that she tried to kill this man because she felt like she had to, because he had stolen money from her. And then in 1995, Nina Simone is sitting at home and she's chilling, and then her neighbor's son is outside making all kind of noise. And Nina lets it slide at first, but then she goes outside and tell him, hey, I'm relaxing here. Can you please keep it down? But it's rumored that he said something smart back to her. And Nina was like, okay, hold that thought right there. She went and got an air gun and shot at this boy and wounded him. And he hollering, mama. But Nina says the reason that she shot him is because he used a racial slur on her. She was actually sentenced to 8 months in jail. So Nina Simone was definitely still out here wilding, a little bit more than she should have been, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, she kept it together for the most part. And then on April the 21st, 2003, Nina Simone passed away from the complications of breast cancer. Now that is officially the end of the scandalous tale of Miss Nina Simone, but listen at this, child. It's a little bit more tea, a little bit more mess that comes in at the end. Okay, so when Nina Simone passed away, in her will, it is claimed that she did not leave anything to her daughter. And I know that she left the majority to Miriam Makeba. So Miriam Makeba was her estate holder. Now, Miriam Makeba must have felt that it was all kinds of wrong that Nina Simone didn't leave anything to her child. So Miriam Makeba handed over the estate to Nina Simone's daughter. Well, after some years, the government took Nina Simone's estate away from her daughter, Lisa. And because of this, either last year or maybe a couple of years ago, it is claimed that Nina Simone's granddaughter, her daughter Lisa's daughter, got on Twitter or Facebook or some social media site, and she basically was like, y'all sitting up there talking about y'all love Kamala Harris or Kamala Harris. Sorry if I don't pronounce that right, but I thought it was Kamala Harris. But whatever the case, y'all sitting up there talking about y'all love Kamala Harris. Baby, she sat up there and she ripped my grandmother's estate out of our hands. People are making millions of dollars because of my grandma's estate, and her daughter, my mom, and me, we are broke. We are flat broke. We have no money. So, of course, she posts all these messages to the public, and so, people start digging because they're like, wait a minute, Kamala, you got some explaining to do. And so it is said that they found out that Lisa did have the estate, but it's claimed that she was just spending money recklessly. and she would not honor Nina Simone's wishes. And Nina Simone is supposedly to have said in her will, go to Africa and build schools. I want you to build schools in Africa. And so, like I said, since Miriam Makeba gave it to the daughter, it was up to the daughter Lisa to honor her mother's wishes. Take some of that money or all of the money or whatever, go to Africa and build the schools. Well, the schools were never built in Africa. And so because of this is why the government stepped in and took the money away from Lisa, because they felt like, she was embezzling funds, she was committing fraud, you know what I mean? She was not honoring her mother's wishes. And so I guess the granddaughter didn't know about this, you know what I'm saying? Maybe she knew about just half of the tale. So, it was kind of embarrassing to see people like get up under there and be like, well, baby, you need to go back and ask your mama, because did your mama not tell you how she didn't build these schools? Nina didn't even leave her the estate in the first place. Like, as a matter of fact, what's going on with your grandma and mama? It just opened up a whole bunch of worms and stuff, and it was just bad, just messy, child. And then also, even before this happened, her daughter Lisa had written a book and basically told how Nina Simone had abused her and treated her any kind of way. So there's just a lot of stuff that has come out after Nina Simone's death that is kind of like just shown her in a different light. But you all know I am not here to judge. That is not what Ashley Says So is about. I am very much live and let live, and I am very much people make mistakes, and that's just what it is. We are all human. So, but it was just kind of weird how it all came out.
Hey y'all, I just want to cut in here real quick and tell you I got two more bits of tea that I forgot to add in the video. The first one is that Nina Simone did not make any money off of her biggest selling song and album to date, and that was the song I Loves You Porgy, because she sold the rights to the song and the royalties and everything else for $3,000 when she came out with it, okay? So over time, of course, that song had amassed millions, which would have made her a very wealthy woman and had her living comfortably. But like I said, she sold the rights to the album. The second bit of tea is this. It is said that after Nina Simone had did all of that with the civil rights movement and she was going through that mental break, every time she saw Aretha Franklin or Gladys Knight or somebody else, like one of her other peers on television having these big concerts and all of this good stuff, that she would be so angry. She would be like, I should have just been like them. You know what I'm saying? They did not fight. They didn't do anything. And look at them. They're on TV. They're making money. They still got their career, but my dumb behind, I stuck out my neck and look what happened to me. Now I'm ruined. So it's claimed that she was like very bitter and kind of jealous of those women because she felt like, she did all the fighting and her career got ruined and theirs didn't do anything. All they did was just continue to sing their pop song.
But anyways, this is the old Hollywood scandalous tale of Miss Nina Simone. Again, this was more biography than scandal, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Oh, I found out too that y'all do need to start liking the video. I usually don't ask y'all to like it, not for real, you know what I'm saying? But now, apparently, there's some stuff with this algorithm. Well, yes, it will benefit me very much if y'all like the video. So take y'all messy little scandalous tales and click the like button, doggone it. But anyways, thank y'all so much, y'all. I love you guys so much. If you're new here, please subscribe. And again, like the video, guys. Please do it for me. But, all right, y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.